They tried to make me do it, and of course I was like...
So they expose you to, I mean, you could be exposed to cholera, you could be exposed to deadly pathogens, just being in the cell, and then they made you clean it up with a little handheld squeegee?
So here's what I'm saying. The guy even below me said that there was, he was using those words. He was saying, don't touch the water, dude. It'll make you'll end up with, some bad stuff, So he was trying to be nice to me because I said, has this happened to you before? He goes, oh, yeah, about 2-3 weeks ago, a month ago, they did the same thing. I mean, this is how these people are treated in there. It's like, I was like, you're kidding me. So, he was talking, don't touch the water. You can get all kinds of diseases from the water and whatnot. So, just try to do the best you can. And so for that was on Saturday. So obviously they didn't do a very good job cleaning it up. In fact, it was just the opposite. So I listened.
Well, can you describe the smell? What was the smell like? I mean,
to me it was like it's like opening a sewer hatch cover in the street and smelling like it smells in there. It was. I had a towel over my head. I was trying to somehow hold one nostril, so I wouldn't actually smell it. I mean, it was awful, man. I just was in shock that they would leave people in here. Where's the hygiene? Do they actually want to force people to end up with some sort of disease because they're in there? Every thought went through my head. I was thinking, I just can't believe they're doing this. I mean, and they're claiming that I never thought that until you just said that I was the one that is in some way harming other people. I mean, this is what they purposely do to you. So
well, yeah, you sold milk, so they release raw shit across your bunk. I mean, they could have done this on purpose. Did you ever think that they did this on purpose as another way to punish you?
Yes, of course I did. I thought maybe they went into an empty cell that was 4 or 5 cells down and turned on the toilet and did that on purpose. You'll never know. Of course I thought, what do you think? That thought was through my mind many times. And so I just thought maybe they're just after me personally. I didn't know. But, meanwhile, that's Saturday, right? Well, how long do you think I had to remain in that cell? I had to remain in the cell until 11:45 p.m. Sunday night.
Wow. So
for another day and a half, I'm required to stay in this disgusting, dangerous environment of bacteria that's probably crawling all over the walls in there. This is what they made me stay in for the next day and a half. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Along with some other people, but many other the inmates that were in there had put anything they could, towels and whatnot, in the way of their doorway to divert it elsewhere. I was not awake, so I was unable to have that ability.
Because you had been sleep deprived before and subjected to hypothermia before and all these other things.
I finally, Sunday evening, I thought I'd be being transferred because now it would be Monday and I'd be transferred to Ventura. So I was thinking they'd wake me up at around 4:30 or 5 in the morning to be put on a bus to Ventura. No, they wake me up at 11:45 at night and throw me back into the same holding cell, pretty much that I had been for that previous 3 hours before I was booked into that cell. Now I'm in that cell for 6 hours with no heat and nothing but that little sink toilet in there and no thermals at all. And for 6 hours I had to stay awake and try to keep warm until they came and got me and put me on a bus. I thought I was going to die.
And if you had died, they would just rig up a rope or something and say you committed suicide.
All those thoughts crossed my mind, buddy. That's why I was being. I put my hands inside me. You can do that. You can pull your arms into your shirt sleeves and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's what I did to try to keep myself warm. But I just basically was sitting and rocking on a bench for 6 hours or standing up and trying to walk around and trying to stay warm in there because nobody came, by the way. Nobody came. Nobody came to see me. Well, nobody came to talk to me. No, there was no phone in there. I couldn't use anything.
During this time, by the way, one of your attorneys was desperately trying to locate you, and you were, quote, lost in the system. No one could find you. They had hidden you away. I mean, even law enforcement officials could not find you. That it was on purpose that you were lost.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, yeah. See, while you were in the cell, so much was happening outside of things going on and people trying to locate you, and they lost you on purpose.
Wow. You know, I asked, by the way, multiple times. I said I need to use a phone to call an attorney, and they would, you know, when a sheriff would go by that cell, I'd say once every 3 hours or 4 hours, I would try to get the guy's attention. That man wouldn't even turn his head. He wouldn't even acknowledge that I was even there.
Wow.
Period.
Yeah, total dehumanization. To them, I guess you're just an animal because you're a raw milk farmer. I mean,
Mike, the thing has always been here to help and assist other people, and you know, and to doing the best I can to attain the highest quality food. And I thought this is my reward for all the years I've been trying to do this, is to be put into this it's worse than danger environment. It is torture. I used the word. I actually wrote when I got to Ventura my thoughts down there. They were there on a piece of paper I wrote, actually toilet paper I wrote on, to try to tell everybody what I'd gone through before I would forget half the stuff, because I was actually worried they were actually mentally going to break me, and I was going to break down, and they were going to put me into a psych ward or something, because at times I was close to mentally breaking down.
I'm sure that's part of the strategy. I mean, they want to do anything to victimize you. Now, as we talk right now, which is on Saturday morning, Sharon Palmer is still there. She's still being held.
Correct. She's at a place now. So they've moved her from, which Victoria told me, from the Ventura jail system to over something in Santa Paula called Todd Road. So I know that she's over there, and that's why we're going to visit her, because I want to give some support to Sharon, who is a lovely human being, who is a great mother, who is a great farmer, who is a very honest person, who's had a really tough past with ex-husbands who have screwed with people and whatnot. I mean, this woman doesn't deserve anything. She's never shown me any evidence ever of being a bad person ever. In fact, if anybody, I would say of the 5 people I trust most in my life, she'd be on that first hand. I trust Sharon, and I always have.
What are your thoughts? Well, you don't have to respond to this, but I'm just going to say on the record, I think you have a case to sue L.A. County for violating your civil rights, for subjecting you to torture, for exposing you to potentially deadly pathogens, for almost killing you. I mean,
I know, but my thought is they're going to say, oh, it's just a bunch of hooey and whatnot. And I have no evidence. I thought about that when I was in there. See, it's their environment, and so they win all the time when you're in there. You can claim it, but how can you prove it? You can't prove anything. They're going to say, oh, he's just lying. He's just, trying to make things look worse than they were and whatnot. And I'm not joking. Everything I just told you is actually perfectly, there's no exaggeration in it. This is exactly what happened the whole time I was there. So, as I said, when I got to Ventura, things were a lot better. And by the way, the bus ride up to Ventura, it was the first time I've ever been on a sheriff's bus that actually had padding on the seat. I was in heaven, and you could see out the windows. To me, it was like, oh my God, it's heaven.
Wow. What are your thoughts? They slapped you with $1 million bail. Now here we are in a time when people like Jerry Sandusky, accused of raping young boys at Penn State, John Corzine, never arrested after stealing billions of dollars from investors, not even arrested. These murderers and these rapists and these thieves, they get no bail. And you were slapped with $1 million over selling milk. I'm speechless with trying to come up with adjectives to describe the. Hold on, somebody's knocking at my door. People are bringing me food because they know I've been I've been foodless for days. But no, there's so many words and adjectives, Mike, you could use that would describe the brutality, the insanity, the bail conditions, and everything else, which are they're beyond even belief. Okay, they obviously, in my view, they're actually exposing themselves
for the real sinister characters they are by actually doing those things, because you and I and other people can compare what these other way more sinister individuals have done to compare to what by the way, I'm not even involved in this whole thing, but that will come out. That's what
you're talking.
Go ahead.
You're talking about the financial charges that were leveled against you,
correct,
stemming from a 2008 investigation. Yeah, you don't even own the farm. Your name's not on the paper. You never signed up investors. You literally you do not have any part in that.
That's all correct.
It's just so you were arrested and thrown in prison for I guess knowing Sharon Palmer.
I guess so.
for being her friend. I mean, so I mean, think about it. They tortured you and almost killed you for knowing someone. I am so sorry of what you have been through. I mean, you can't. My heart pours out to you. So many times I wish I could just go out there and spring you from jail, but of course they would have arrested or shot me. This injustice just cannot stand. This is worse than North Korea, what they did to you, or at least it's comparable to it. I mean, we're talking about Russian gulags. We're talking about torture in secret prisons where you were lost in the system, couldn't be located, nearly killing you.
I know.
It's when people hear this, they will be rightfully outraged.
And they should be, buddy, because if they can do this to a person who's never harmed a flea in his life, I've never even been in a fight, Mike. Okay, I don't fight with people. I've never been in a fist fight. I'm not an angry person at all. I try to deal with stuff in the best way I can that satisfies both sides of the issue and whatnot. I'm always trying to be the mediator to things and whatnot. I've never been convicted of anything in my life ever, and not ever. I have no record at all. Period. Now, what they're trying to do is obviously convict me here on both of these things, so I actually have a record.
Yeah.
So that's why I find that incredible as well, because I'm 65 years old and I've never been convicted of anything. Period.
What is your view on? You mentioned the sheriffs, the deputies, the workers in the prison system. It's like they treated you worse than an animal. It's like they have been completely dissociated from all human properties, human contact. I mean, it's like they're cogs in a machine that just destroys people. Did you see any glimmer of humanity in those workers?
As I told you, the only guy that I saw a glimmer of humanity from was that guy Richardson, who took the handcuffs from behind my back and put them on my sides in the medical pod. He had some heart. That's the word I've used a lot. I saw no heart in there other than him. In fact, I feel an energy in there of gloatingness, where they can gloat over the fact that they can be mean and nasty to people and disrespectful to people, and they're disrespectful to you. Once you're in their playing field, they actually, it feels like they enjoy what they're doing. I've seen them laugh. I've seen them laugh. I've seen them make jokes about what people are going through and whatnot. I've witnessed that as well. So they're heartless. They're really heartless in there. They're mean in a very interesting way. They're mean because they ignore you. They're mean because they make you feel like you are completely just a piece of shit in there. And to me, that's listen. You and I have all watched all these movies, and you go, well, what's the terminology when you're at war and then you're captured and whatnot? There's the Geneva Convention rules of how you humanely treat people. This is not there. This is torture, buddy. There is no, in what I experience now. Ventura was different. I granted it took way long to book me in 12 hours. I don't understand why the process takes so long, but you're dealt with in a much more not easy fashion, but a much more. It's not so It's not brutal. Okay, it's not brutality. What I experienced in downtown LA was brutality. Period.
Well, we know that the recruiting for these, prison.